Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Trent and this is Trent on Purpose, where I'm documenting my weight loss journey with you for the purposes of potentially maybe inspiring somebody, but realistically, it's just me documenting my journey on how I'm losing weight, the mental challenges that come with losing weight, and just tracking my progress, both the ups and the downs. So let's get into this weekly recap.
Let's start with the basics. What was your weigh in this week, and how are you feeling about it?
This week I weighed in at 531.6 pounds, which overall is still down, but it's up from a pound last week on Wednesday. My coach said that I should be only weighing myself once a week, so that's what I'm doing, and it's kind of tough. It's been a little bit more of a mental hurdle than I thought it would be, just to not have that weekly progress and understand where I am every morning. But I understand the purpose, because a lot of my value from what I was doing coming from an external place, which was the number on that scale. So whether that number was down, I'd feel good and I'd keep going. If it was up, like it was a little bit this week, I did have that moment of, oh man, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not working? When in reality, it is working. I'm working my way down, but this is not a linear journey. It's going to be a little bit of a wavy roller coaster, but that's what my weigh-in was this week. When I first stepped off the scale and saw that number was up a little bit, I was frustrated. It was not where I wanted to be. Thankfully, I was able to get some help reframing that in my head so that I was able to better understand myself. And I didn't spiral, I didn't go off into the depths and not focus on what I needed to focus on.
Scale aside, what were some non-scale victories this week that made you proud?
So a non-scale victory that I had this week was I was able to hit my steps count pretty consistently. I was actually really happy with, even though I stumbled on Wednesday by skipping the gym, which if you didn't see that short or reel, I'll link it right here. I convinced myself that I was tired and that I needed rest, and even though I know I had it in me to go to the gym, I didn't, because I convinced myself I didn't need to, and that was a problem. But Friday I actually went and did an extra cardio session. So I got my half hour of cardio in, and then when we drove back home, because we were in Phoenix, when we drove back home, which is 2.5 hours away, I basically went directly to the gym and got a lift in. So Friday was a to the gym twice, and I'm pretty proud of that. It wasn't something that I would have normally probably done, but I didn't feel like I was obligated to do it. It was just something that I wanted to do, which I feel like is a massive mental victory. And so that definitely is probably the best non-scale victory I had this entire week.
Every week comes with challenges. Was there a tough moment you had to push through this week?
One of the toughest moments I had this week was probably Thursday morning. I had convinced myself that I didn't need to go to the gym. I was feeling pretty dumb about it. It's not something that I wanted to do. I knew I could have gotten up and went to the gym. I had the energy, I had the time, but I convinced myself that I was tired, that I needed the rest, that I didn't need to go to the gym that day, which was not true. I did need to go to the gym. I had a workout planned. I had something I needed to accomplish, but I just didn't do it. And it felt stupid. I felt dumb that I just didn't go, because I absolutely could have and should have, but I just convinced myself that I didn't need to. And that was definitely a tough moment. But Thursday we got back into the gym with my wife convinced me. We didn't really have to push me that hard, but she was like, yeah, you should go now. We have time. And I'm like, all right, bet. And I went to the gym. So I was able to push through it. I didn't sabotage myself. I didn't eat bad Thursday or Wednesday night. I didn't eat bad. My calories I've been tracking all my calories in the Lose It app, and I've been very consistent about that. I've been very on top of my macro goals, and I think that even though I had that down point of, one, I weighed in a little bit heavier than I wanted to, two, I didn't go to the gym on Wednesday when I should have, I just kept going. And that to me is, that's progress right there. That is something that Trent a month or two ago wouldn't have done.
Let's flip it. What's something you want to improve going into next week?
Something I want to improve this week is sleep. It is such an important part of weight loss, is your sleep. Getting to bed on time, getting the full 8 hours that your body needs to rebuild muscle, to flush the fat, to do all the things that it needs to do to get us ready, especially when it comes to stuff like this content grind. I say grind, it's been a week. When it comes to this content stuff and my gym, just being able to go to the gym. When I go to the gym, it's pretty late. Getting home and then doing a little bit of work for my socials and the channel, sharing what I've experienced that day, is eating into my sleep, which at first I was like, you know what, it's just what I need to do to be successful, to have this succeed. But ultimately, what we're all here for is losing weight, and I'm hurting my chances at doing that by staying up late and working on stuff like this. So I need to be better about my sleep and then my schedule, my time, and that's something that I need to focus on so that I can continue to do what it is that we're all here for, which is to lose the weight. I'm gonna work on that this week.
This week, I was on purpose because...
So this week, I was on purpose with keeping myself accountable. And I think that is probably one of the hardest things I've done with this. I've always made excuses. I've always been able to, I don't necessarily want to say validate, but I've been able to explain to myself why I'm not doing this, why I'm not doing that. I've been able to excuse those momentary lapses, and that's just, I didn't do that this week. I called myself out on skipping the gym on Wednesday, and I made up for it, which to me, that's a heart victory right there. That's a mindset shift for me, and I'm very happy of that goal and of that progress. So yeah, that's this week in kind of a nutshell. If you are just starting, or you're starting over and you're starting again, you're not alone. Okay, this is a journey that is not, like I said, it's not linear. It's not point A to point B. We all have those ups and downs, and I am no exception. I have my ups and downs, and I want to encourage you, and Trent, if you're watching this later, I'm proud of you, but I want to encourage you to just keep going. One step. Something I posted earlier this week is, baby steps are still steps. I might have to start small. I'm not the fastest, I'm not the quickest, I'm not the strongest, but 1% better every day, on purpose, with purpose. You got this. I believe in you just as much as you're watching this video supports me and you believe in me. So I appreciate you, and let's keep doing this together with purpose. See you next week.
That's a wrap for this week's recap with Trent on Purpose. Remember, this journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And Trent is living proof of that. If you're on this road too, keep going. We'll see you next week. Stay strong, stay intentional, and as always, live on purpose.